What's up, everyone? Welcome to the Environment, Human Security, and Conflict, Week 3. It really has been an interesting and important week in international relations. First of all, and probably most obvious for people who were watching this in March of 2022, Russia has invaded Ukraine. There have been protests both within Russia and around the world. Thousands of people have been detained within Russia during these protests from one side of the country to the other, and the government has been stepping up repressive acts both against their own peoples as well as media outlets, domestic and internationally. Across the continent in Uttar Pradesh, the most populous state within India, and a state election was just held, as well as in 4 other Indian states. People are anxiously awaiting the results of this election. Early evidence suggests that it's been roughly similar to the current balance of power. However, there was a ruckus when some party supporters of the non-majority party saw a truck with electronic voting machines headed towards the polling tabulation center, and they thought that there was potential for election fraud to occur, and they weren't too happy about that. Lastly, Turkmenistan, coming up this weekend, is having an incredibly important election that I haven't seen anyone really talking about. The country, one of the most isolated up there with North Korea in the world, is getting ready to transition from the second president they've had since independence to the third, who happens to be the son of the incumbent president. And the international community is trying to see whether that transition is going to go well. And I think these 3 events might seem quite different in focusing on different challenges in the world, but I think they highlight a couple of important things in common, and it connects to the puzzle that we're going to be focusing on this week. How can governments be given the power to be able to provide all of our security without going too far in that power or in the pursuit of security that it might violate either international norms and laws or domestic personal security, which kind of ties into why we should care for me and for you and for people around the world about domestic political institutions, elections in countries far away, or border wars between major and minor countries might seem far away from our own individual interests, but I think they're crucial in understanding this international system that has seen huge changes within the last just few years, let alone the 70 or 80 years since the end of World War II. And so we are in a new age in trying to figure out what role domestic institutions have to be able to make people's lives better, when a new report by the Freedom House basically says that we're in a similar level of democracy around the world than we were at the end of the Cold War. So there is a reckoning for the type of democratic and autocratic institutions around the world. And we're going to study how those institutions can be linked to the use of power by those who control the institutions, as well as how that could precipitate conflict or shape how people's fight towards their political goals. And I think, so also just speaking as an individual, our security matters to us, and our ability to travel or to pursue our interests in human security are also shaped by these political institutions that often don't get enough attention in our understanding of environmental conflict and security, as we're going to see later on in this term. So there's a lot to cover. I look forward to having a great discussion, talking about how democracies and autocracies, how people decide to organize their states, can have an important effect in driving or preventing conflict. So let's go ahead and get started.